Hi Rangers, today we're going to be learning about X and Y intercepts. So we're going to use the Freyer model to help us identify some important information about the X and Y intercept. So first we're going to start with the X intercept. So we're going to write that in the middle. Okay, from here we're going to also write in the middle some words that also mean X intercept. So some other words you may see is zeros and solutions. Okay, the definition of an x-intercept is where the function intersects the x-axis. Okay, so if we're not sure what the word intersects means, that would be a word that you should circle and have a little definition for you so you are able to look back and understand the word. So that just means it's going to cross the x-axis. Okay, so let's look at a linear example. So we have this linear function. We want to know where it crosses the x-axis. Well, it's crossing the x-axis right here at the point 5, 0. Okay, so it says the line intersects the x-axis. Oh, we just said that, 5, 0. And the 0 is 5. So sometimes you will write it as a point. Sometimes you just write the x value of the x-intercept. It all depends on how the question is asked and what option choices you have. Okay, now a quadratic example. Again, we want to know where does our function cross or intersect the x-axis. Well, this one intersects at two different locations. So this point over here is -4. This one over here is a +1. So the parabola, which is the shape of the quadratic function, that U shape, intersects the x-axis at -4, 0, and 1, 0. It has a 0 at -4 and +1. Okay, so we just list them as two different points because it crossed at two different points. Looking at the exponential function, we have our x-axis right here, and it is crossing the x-axis right here at -1. So the curve intersects the x-axis at -1, 0, and it has an x-intercept at -1. Okay, moving on to our next one, we're going to talk about the y-intercept. So we're going to write that in the middle. Okay, the definition is where the function crosses the y-axis. So where the function crosses the y-axis. Or intersects. Okay, so looking at our graph, here is our y-axis. It looks like it's intersecting at -2 for this function. The linear function intersects the y-axis at the point -2, 0, and it has a y-intercept of -2. Okay, so again, writing it as a point and understanding that it's just the y value that we are looking at. The quadratic example, we have our y-axis right here. It only intersects the y-axis at one point, which looks like it to be +4. So that point would be 0, 4 with an intercept of 4. Okay, and I just realized if I wrote the linear function incorrectly, that is not how we write a y-intercept. I have the numbers flip-flopped, so hopefully you caught that. Okay, now going back to the exponential function, we have our y-axis here, and it's intersecting down here at -2, so it would be 0, -2, and it has a y-intercept of -2. Now, to prevent us from making mistakes like I just did, what I want us to do is up here at the top, we're going to write our intercept guy. So this is how we remember our intercepts, and this is how we meet our new friend, the intercept guy. We have x comma 0, 0 comma y. Now you have your intercept guy. So this is meant to help us understand how to write our x-intercepts, knowing that the y value is always 0, and our y-intercepts, knowing that the x value is always 0. So once you're done watching this video, go ahead and summarize your note and write down any questions you may have, and be sure to ask your teachers. Have a great day, Rangers.